I am joined here today by Merel Visse, my co-author and co-conspirator, who in her home country, the Netherlands, she is specialized in program evaluation as well as care ethics and the arts. Here in the U.S., she leads a graduate health and medical humanities program. Together recently, she and I finished a textbook, a really good book, researching care with case studies. As you know, high quality teaching requires a number of dimensions of care. In a moment, Mara will speak a bit on the relationships between care and excellence in teaching on campus. Here in Mexico, thanks to Mario and many of you here today, considerable attention be paid to the operation and improvement of ratings of students on college teaching. As you know, in the U.S., we do not have a RIIED, a single, well-focused research group for this technology. I have been lucky to have attended your meetings almost since the beginning. I have applauded when some of you here have added systematic observation of teaching by expert observers. Your government failed to support it. We don't have much classroom observation in the U.S., although we do it at the University of Illinois, which our corn farmers have not opposed paying for.
Care in teaching begins with close listening to what unfolds in the classroom, or if you teach virtually, in the virtual space like this. And Bob and I like to say that teaching is care. It is both a practice of listening and a relational practice between people, between the people in the classroom and the teacher and the students. And as evaluators, we often navigate rather complex webs of relationships. We may all have multiple, sometimes conflicting dependencies while we do that. Dependencies with students, me as a teacher with my students, but also students among themselves, and maybe also as evaluators with clients. Well, care ethicists may have a helpful framework, and that framework can guide us through these complexities, through these relational complexities and practices. And we sometimes say that that framework is both creative and reflexive. For example, we reflect on the relationships that we nourish and how that impacts who we are as evaluators. How do you, for example, see yourself as an evaluator? And how do others see you? What normative expectations, we sometimes say, flow from that role? Well, other questions you may ponder are, with whom are you engaging? Which relationships, if any, do you prioritize and why? And what expectations arise within those relationships? And do they, for example, conflict? Or are these expectations aligned and more in harmony? And what do you do if they do conflict? How do you respond then? Well, by doing this, you enter a creative process because you're gradually weaving a tapestry or a web of values. You learn about what matters to those involved and to yourself. And that is really at the heart of what care is all about, that web, and what shows up in the context of that web while you travel it. And to know whom caring belongs to is all about understanding both the history and the ongoing story that shapes our evaluation and teaching work, or in other words, our weaving of the web.
Thanks, Merel. Merel and her Dutch colleagues are engaged in a series of professional workshops on how to navigate complex ethical issues through thoughtful and artistry. Those of you who speak Dutch should consider attending and getting her to do the same in Spanish. I'm no longer productive, but I do dream about evaluation.
I think you're still pretty productive.
One of my former students, Tom Grayson, has just finished a term as president of the American Evaluation Association. From their board meetings and annual programs, he sees the AEA focus changing from a study of merit to a study of making the evaluand more profitable, a shift from independent outside evaluation to evaluation that fits the policies and bank accounts of the evaluand, from students to marketplace.
And even if brought in as independent professionals, the dominant evaluators of the future may be mostly part of the cloud. We are also in a kind of cloud right now. The new universal algorithm, a private enterprise partner seeking evidence to maximize the profitability of the evaluand. Well, and Bob and I believe that work, we need to be public servants. Imagine evaluators, teachers, researchers serving the public good. But like all citizens today, we feel intrusions to our privacy, to our work, that lead to limiting our choices, our technology, as well as our loyalties. Goal-driven evaluation continues to be a service to those who set the goals. What else is possible?
Yes. This is just as true in the higher educational world as in the political and business worlds. Those who set the goals are also those who approve the items of the student rating sheets.
As a slightly less draconian matter, Bob and I would next like to act out a homemade dialogue, a small dialogue about something giving rise to student disappointment and protest. As we do with our interviews and ratings, we try to really take our students seriously.
Seriously. Did you go to the protest?
No, but I did interview 3 students who did.
Were they protesting student evaluation of teachers?
Mostly they were just curious.
Did you think there was merit in the protest?
2 of them ended up more or less agreeing.
Were objectors criticizing radio sheets or the way teachers handled it?
Both. 2 persons spoke of bias. Not sure if they were students.
How did others react?
Several intimated that teachers lacked competence to teach more than fairness.
Did that sound like administrators were not doing their job?
I couldn't tell. Maybe that the ratings perpetuated us and them feelings.
Which would be the case even if teachers were not rated by students.
The students are exposed to lots of talk about one big family.
At the meeting, did you feel that the students were not unanimous about anything?
I couldn't tell.
Did they say that the students should be the main ones choosing the questions?
No revolution in this wind. Someone mentioned tuition costs.
If they'd taken a vote, would the status quo have won?
I think a lot of ballots would have been left blank. All had left by 4:30.
Sufficiente. If this stirs you as a sliver of off-centered thinking, we are pleased. Merel and I wish we could actually today have been with you breathing real Mexican air in real life. Thanks for listening, as so kindly you have in the past. Mario, Sandra, Edith, Isabel, Jesus, Benilde, Eden, Gloria, Javier, Lutzmila, Yulan, Ruby, and all.
Yes, thanks to all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.